Well, if you were a fan of the 1976 film The Omen, you're going to love our next guest. He plays the Antichrist in the new A&E show Damien. Bradley James, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
It's great to have you. So before we get started, give us a little bit of maybe a summary of what the show's about.
You seem to do a pretty good job there yourself. The 1976 film The Omen, there was a little boy called Damien who also happened to be the Antichrist. He was somewhat unaware of that. He was 5, and but now he's grown up and he's 30 years of age. He's still unaware of his status as the Antichrist, but things are happening in his life which are making that more apparent.
Okay, so this has a real chance of being sort of a cult classic. Were you a fan of the movie, the original film?
I remember seeing it when I was probably too young to understand what was going on, but still being fascinated by it. And then I think I saw it sort of a year or two ago, and in fact the other night, it was on the other night, and it's a fantastic film. Yeah, to do a show like Damien, hopefully we will do some justice to that great movie.
Agreed. And so it takes a lot of people to put something like this on. Tell us about the rest of the cast that you work with.
The rest of the cast, I think some of your audience may be aware, may be familiar with Barbara Hershey and Scott Wilson as well pops up, and then a few people who people may not be as aware of, but we're all a fantastic pleasure to work with, and you know, made getting on set every day a very exciting prospect.
Well, yeah, from the trailers I've seen, it almost looks like a movie every time. You know, I'm sure that every episode's going to be super, you know, high production value and everything. How is this different than other projects that you've done before?
I take pictures.
I would say that as an actor, I'm bore people with the phrase that variety is the spice of life, and so I was very much looking for a role that was different to anything that I'd done, and Damien very much provided that. And I just to sort of touch on the movie quality you reference, I think Glen Mazzara, our showrunner, very early on managed to talk Shaker Kapoor into you know, creating this show with him, and so it's created this look that yes, sort of has that movie-like quality, which I think a lot of television is going, the direction that television is going in these days. It's the golden age that television's in has been because it's taken a lot of influence from film. Yeah, and I think it looks really good. Now, being so immersed in a character like Damien, do you ever wake up in a cold sweat after a bad dream? I mean, that happened anyway, to be honest with you, Alex. You know, that was just my life day to day. So to be able to use that for professional purposes was something of a relief. I think Damien experiences a lot of pain. He's certainly witness to a lot of pain, and I think the task was just to sort of dig deep and find that pain within myself, in my own life, and then use that to be able to relate to a man like Damien. And yeah, the result is what viewers will see come Monday night.
Well, that's very well put. So, speaking of Monday night, the premiere, what are you going to do?
Omid, who is in the cast, Omid Abtahi, he plays a character called Omani, who is Damien's. Damien doesn't have a great deal of friends, but if he had to pick a best friend, it would be Omani. But Omid is having a little bit of a showing at his house. I think I'll be turning up there, and you know, sort of maybe in disguise, you know, to see what his friends say about it, and just sort of maybe casually go, God, the guy playing Damien's really good, isn't he? And you know, just see if I can start some chat going that way. How
funny, Bradley. That sounds like a blast, and I want to thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the show, and congratulations on the role and on the premiere.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Damien premieres March 7th on A&E, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.